2 years ago, I lost my dad on what was supposed to be a routine camping trip. Now, I'm never camping again. I'll never forget that day. It was mid-October, early in the morning, when Dad woke me up. "Son, get up, get dressed, and let's get a move on," he called out. I groggily responded, "I'm up, Pops. Just got to get my gear together, knowing full well I wasn't really ready." By the time I made it downstairs, Mom was watching the news, and Dad was outside, checking the truck's engine. She sent me out to him, and I quickly pecked her on the cheek, saying, "Love you, Mama. I'll see you in a couple of days." She hugged me back, and off I went. Dad was finishing up with the packing. "Son, come help me with this," he said, and I jokingly replied, "What's wrong, Pops? You getting too old for this?" He laughed. "I'll never be too old to whoop your ass." But then, with a serious tone, he added, "Tony, if anything ever happens, never go camping again." Confused, I asked what he meant, but he just brushed it off, focusing on loading the equipment. We soon set off, and though I tried to match his enthusiasm for the trip, my heart wasn't really in it. At 16, with a girlfriend back home, camping was starting to feel like kid stuff. But I knew how much it meant to him, so I kept my doubts to myself. The drive took us about 4 hours, out to the middle of nowhere in California, where the trees towered and the mountains loomed. Our campsite was perched on the side of a cliff overlooking a wild river. As I unpacked, I noticed Dad pacing and muttering to himself. He seemed agitated, but I tried not to think much of it. After setting up camp, Dad suggested we head down to the river for some fishing. The river was roaring, its rapids so loud you could feel the sound in your chest. Dad led us to a quieter creek, perfect for catching fish, or so he said. But then, mid-sentence, he froze, staring into the woods, whispering something I couldn't make out. I cautiously approached him. "Dad, are you okay?" I asked, but he didn't respond. After what felt like forever, he finally snapped out of it, continuing as if nothing had happened. Though it felt like one of his PTSD episodes, this one had a chilling intensity I hadn't seen before. I tried to shake it off and enjoy the day. We caught loads of fish, and for a while things seemed normal. That evening, after dinner, as Dad whittled a piece of wood, I couldn't hold back anymore. "Dad, what happened to you at the river today?" I asked hesitantly. He seemed confused, dismissing it as nothing, just a result of not sleeping well. But I knew something wasn't right. As night fell, I was jolted awake by a scream that sent chills down my spine. It wasn't just any scream, it was a scream of pure terror. Everything outside was eerily silent. I unzipped my tent and cautiously approached Dad's. Peeking in, I found him mumbling in his sleep. His voice was soft, pleading. "You can't take them, they're my family then." His voice changed deep, guttural, and not his own. "I will take you, then I will take them," it growled. I stumbled back in horror. Moments later, Dad woke up, oblivious to what had just happened. He assured me he was fine, but I could barely sleep after that. The next day passed in strained silence, with Dad more irritable than usual. We went through the motions hiking, fishing, but something felt off, like a dark cloud hanging over us. That night, I tried to sleep, but anxiety kept me awake. Then I saw him. Dad was standing on the edge of the cliff, whispering to the river below. I ran towards him, but stopped dead in my tracks when I heard him say, "You can have me, but not them. This is the last time you hurt me." "Dad, are you okay?" I tried to call out, but before I could finish, he turned to me, his eyes empty. "Never go camping again, son," he said, and then he jumped. My scream echoed into the night as I stood frozen, staring into the darkness. I finally managed to tear myself away, grabbed the truck keys, and drove home in a daze. I could swear I saw Dad's reflection in the rearview mirror the entire way back. When I got home, I told my mother everything. She collapsed in grief. Authorities searched for days but found no trace of him. It was as if he had simply vanished. 2 years have passed, and I haven't gone camping since. I moved away, but with the annual trip looming, I decided to visit Mom. The night I arrived, I was woken by a cold chill. As I rubbed my eyes, I saw a face at my window, Dad's face. But it wasn't him. His skin was ghostly white, hair matted, eyes black as coal. "Son, are you ready to go camping?" he whispered, tapping the window with long, sharp nails. I was paralyzed with fear. I managed to back away and flick on the light, but when I looked again, he was gone. Panicked, I went to my mom's room. "Mom, we need to leave now. Something's outside," she cut me off, eerily calm. "He can't get you if you don't agree to go camping," she murmured. rolling over and going back to sleep. Confused and terrified, I stepped outside to face whatever it was. As I stood there, nothing but the silent woods around me, a voice called out, "Won't you go camping with me, son? Please." Then, out of the woods, something scuttled towards me on all fours, screaming inhumanly. I fell backward, closing my eyes, waiting for the end. The screams grew louder and closer until I couldn't take it anymore. "I am not going camping with you," I screamed. And then, silence. When I opened my eyes, nothing was there. Just a small wooden cross at my feet, the one Dad had whittled, with father and son carved into it. I picked it up and kept it with me. I don't know if I'm losing my mind, but I know one thing for sure. I'm never camping again.